It's Gamal saying, recently turned 24 years old. I was born in London, England, St Mary's Hospital, to an Egyptian dad and a half Irish, half Kiwi mother.
Your kind of music, can you give me some of your biggest influences?
Oasis were the first band I got into, but I kind of missed everything, really. I mean, they came out in '94. I started listening to music in about 2001, so I missed everything, right? And obviously the Beatles as well. They're a great band, but of course they broke up 16 years before I was born. So the biggest band, the band that means the most to me, is a band called the Libertines. Came out with Up the Bracket, their first album, 2002, when I was 15, and it just kind of just changed everything, really. It's like everything was in black and white beforehand, and then you got the album, you put it on, and Vertigo started, and that was it. It's colour.
Those who don't know who the Libertines are, how big were they? Who would you compare them with?
They were probably about the size of a band called The Clash. They're a band in the late 70s, the forefront of punk music. So it's a bit hard to describe because they kind of self-destructed before they became as big as they could have been. And a lot of their fans joined the party afterwards, in the same way I became an Oasis fan after the hype. And after everything Oasis, a lot of Libertines fans are now fans after they broke up. So you're not really a band that many people would have heard of, to be fair.
You said you had a meeting with the band leader.
We didn't really have a meeting when I met him, yeah. See, that's quite controversial. He's the joint band leader. See, that's why they broke up. But yeah, I met Carl Barrett, who is the joint songwriter along with Pete Doherty in the Libertines. I met him in a pub just down the road from me called Paradise, and it's quite a big deal, really, because like I said, it was such an influence pretty much on everything I did when they first came out. And it's, in many ways, it was like meeting John Lennon, or if you're into classical Mozart, meeting classical music, meeting Mozart. Because, yeah, you know, or like if you're really religious, meet Jesus. Spent 10 minutes looking at this guy, and I was so convinced it was Carl Barrett. So I decided that this is my God, this is my Jesus, so I'm going to go talk to him. And as I got closer and closer to him, I knew what I was going to say. I was just going to go up to him and say, look, you're Carl Barrett, can I shake your hand because you're brilliant at this? When I was standing about a foot away from him, I said, are you Carl Barrett? And he's got yeah, he goes, yeah, I get that. A lot of people say I look like him. As soon as he opened his mouth, I knew who he was. So he was there with his friend, and I interrupted the conversation, so I thought, be quick, just shake his hand, say how much he loved the band and the impact they had, and then we'll be on our way. So I'm talking to him and I'm saying, listen, you guys are brilliant, the Libertines changed my life, it was fantastic, you guys are great. Again, I can't stress the importance of this. You know, I'm having a beer here with Jesus, really. And it just became such a great night because he was just so relaxed, he was so cool, he became everything you wanted him to be. And because this pub is just down the road from me, I said to him, the question I was always going to ask you is, what are the opening chord sequence to this certain song? And he told me everything, and I was a bit like, that doesn't really make sense, I need to see it. And he said, well, if you've got a guitar handy, I'll show you now. And like I said, I only live in walking distance, so I said to him, well, you wait here. So walked down the road, 2 minutes later I've come back to my guitar, I've come back to the pick, and I say, right, now play it. And then it just became one of these magical evenings because he showed me how to play it. It was summer, it was getting dark near sunset around 9 o'clock. It was a hot day. And then we were, me and my hero just playing guitar in the backyard. The guy who, they could have changed the shape of this country in the same way Oasis did in the 90s and the Beatles did in the 60s, and they never really did because, they blew themselves up really. But that was kind of it. I understood how important it was. It didn't matter to me that nobody else in the beer garden knew who we were. I understood it, and the fact that everybody else was looking at us like we were two buskers trying to make a bit of money in the summer just kind of made it a perfect day really, But yeah, that was what it was. That was the night I met Carl Barrett.
When you say the Libertines changed your life, how do you mean? What effect did they have?
I mean, it was like 1 minute you're 14 years old, whoever old I was, and you're just running around. You don't really know what you're doing in life. You don't really know where you're going. You don't really know how to dress, or how to talk, or anything like that. And then you see a bunch of kids come out in these red army jackets, and then these dodgy jeans and the black leather jackets, and you kind of think, that's what I want to dress like. And then they're singing songs about sailing off into Arcadia on the Albion, and you kind of think, that's what I want to do. I want to now explore this. There is a world outside here. I don't have to sit in an office every day. I don't have to work on a construction site. Not that there's anything wrong with those career choices, of course, but when the whole world is telling you you've got to be something. Here were 4 kids from not too much my neck of the woods, but from London anyway, telling me that there is another way, there's a better world out there. And they were kind of sailing the ship, and I was on board to wherever you think we can go, I'm willing to explore it. So, they grew quite a cult following. And I never got, you see people with a Libertine tattoo on their arm, and I never quite got one of them, but it was that kind of thing. You're a part of something, and when you're 15 and you're trying to find your place in the world, that's important. You're a Libertine. It didn't matter if you're in the band or not, as long as you believed in the same ideals that they did, and you understood that what you're told isn't necessarily true, and the life that other people have mapped out for you doesn't necessarily have to happen. It means the world. And then, you kind of pick up a guitar, and those days when, your girlfriend's left you, or your dog's died, or you didn't, there's nobody else around, you kind of need something to pick yourself up again. You just play Time for Heroes on the guitar. It just brightens up the day, and that's what they kind of did, not just for me, but for a lot of people. Like I said, they could have changed the landscape of the country in terms of people our age. They never quite made it, but, so the ship sank, it doesn't matter. I was there with them. That's kind of, it's really important to people like me.